Alright guys, what is up? It is Sensei Swole checking back in for a new video on the channel. Now today I want to do a training related video, but obviously we're not in the gym, we're in the content corner here. So I'm going to dive into my current training split in the gym. So I've made a few training videos recently, but I want to kind of go over my overall split throughout the week, including how I structure them and my rest days as well. So in the past, I've done plenty of different exercise programs, such as the typical bro split, where you hit one muscle group each day for 5 days and then take 2 rest days in between that somewhere, or a push-pull leg program where you're basically hitting every muscle group within 3 days. And I would usually repeat that twice a week, having a rest day in between those 2 blocks. But what I'm doing right now under my new coach is a 5-day program as well with 2 rest days, but sort of a different twist on what we're hitting each time. So I want to go into that now, explain what I'm hitting each day, how it's structured, and how I'm optimizing my rest by separating these training days, as I might be hitting a certain muscle group more than once throughout a week. So I want to make sure I'm recovered and ready to kill it in the gym each session. So I'll put up a little text box here with an overview of my week, with what days I train what body part and when my rest days are structured. Now I'll let you know right now that throughout all of these workouts, we're only hitting anywhere between 6 to 7 movements at maximum. And with each exercise, the ranges of sets can vary. It can be 2 sets, 3 sets, or 4 sets. Sometimes just 2 sets and a drop set can do it for me on a certain movement. And I'll try and chuck that up here somewhere as I list each exercise I'm performing throughout a training day. And we're just going to keep smashing it out like that so we cover the 5 days of my training split. And if we look at that right now, what we can see is on Monday is when I have my first training day of the week, which is push. So in this, we're trying to hit our chest, our shoulders, and our triceps. My first exercise is flat dumbbell bench press. Now on this first movement, I usually like to warm up by stretching or maybe doing a light set on this movement with about 50% of my working weight. And in terms of the sets here, we're doing 2 working sets with a drop set. And for my drop sets, I like to just simply do a 25% decrease in my working weight. So 2 sets plus 1 drop set. The second movement is incline press. Now this can either be dumbbells or a barbell, or even in a Smith machine where you have a fixed barbell path on a rack, and that's for 3 sets of 12 reps. Now followed by that, we move into shoulders, where the first movement is going to be a shoulder press movement. This can be either dumbbells, a barbell, or what I prefer to do is a pin loaded stack. So a machine where you have weights that you can simply insert the pin into and perform a standard shoulder press. So in here, we do 3 sets of 12 reps. Followed by that, we have a movement for our lateral delts, so the side delts, and that is 1 arm side raises. So that's basically just a lateral raise, but we're putting a single arm attachment or single cable onto a cable stack, and we're pulling the weight up as if we were doing a lateral raise with a dumbbell. And on this, we just simply hit 3 sets. Now, this is when we move on to triceps following this movement. For the first one, we have lying easy bar tricep skull crushers. And on this one, we also just hit it for 3 sets. Now, the last movement that we usually have for our triceps here to finish off push day is just rope push downs. So you find a cable stack, chuck on a rope attachment, and smash out 2 working sets, followed by a drop set, once again for as many reps as possible. Now, looking at Tuesday is when we have our first leg day. So we have 2 throughout the week. For this one, the first exercise I have is seated calf raises, simply just 3 sets to get them pumped, activated, and feel a bit more stable for the following exercises. What we have for exercise number 2 is hack squats. On this, we have 2 working sets with heavy weight, the heaviest you can do for a good 8 to 10 reps or so. And then we have a drop set once again to go all out, as many reps as possible. Exercise number 3, we have barbell or plate loaded hip thrusts. If you have a hip thrust machine set up in your gym, great. If not, grab yourself a barbell and keep thrusting away for 3 sets on this exercise. Now we move on to the next exercise, which is 1 leg press. This can either be on a 90-degree leg press or one of those 45-degree ones where you're kind of lying and looking up. And we're just going to do 1 leg at a time with a big drop in the weight, as you're not using both legs and stability can be an issue here. We're just doing 3 sets once again. And now nearing the end of the workout, I like to hit an isolation exercise for the hamstrings, which is seated hamstring curls. And that is just for 3 straight working sets. And then the last exercise is us hitting our adductors. So we're using the good girl machine. And that is for 3 heavy working sets, followed by 1 drop set to finish off leg session A. Moving on to Wednesday, this is our first back workout, or our big pull workout to hit our back, rear delts, and biceps. What we start off first is a T-bar row, going for about 3 heavy sets, still trying to get between the 8 to 12 rep range. Followed by this, we have lat pull downs with a bit of a twist on it. So if you might have seen on my latest back video, I do an ultra wide grip, so far beyond shoulder width, to really hit those outer lats. And on this, we also hit it for about 3 sets. Now following this, we have standing cable straight arm pull downs. So this is a great lat movement where you pretty much put a straight bar onto a cable stack, maybe take a step or two back, keeping your arms almost straight with a slight bend in it, and you're bringing the weight down towards your waist, really stretching out your mid to outer lats. Now this is where we move on to our fourth exercise, a rear delt movement, which is simply just seated reverse flies on a pec deck machine. Once again, 3 straight sets. And now getting into dumbbells, with the first one being a dumbbell curl, but on a 45-degree angle. So you set up a bench, make sure it's at a 45-degree angle, smash out 3 straight sets. Once again, going for about 8 to 10, maybe even 12 reps. Trying to really focus on the time under tension here with a 2-second concentric, so bringing the weight up to squeeze the bicep, and then 1 second going down. And on this angle, it can be quite taxing because you're really stretching out your bicep with an increased range of motion. So you'll enjoy that one if you try it out. And to finish off pull day, we just have one last isolation exercise for our biceps, which is seated pin loader preacher curls. 2 heavy sets, followed by 1 drop set. Boom, that's pull day complete. Now into Thursday. Not much to say, it is actually just a rest day. I like to call them active rest days because I still get up to quite a bit, go for an extra walk with my dog, do an hour or 2 of meal prep. Since I like to meal prep twice a week on my Thursday and Sunday rest days and pack about 3 to 4 days worth of food and stay on top of everything. And after having a nice rest day, we move on to Friday, which is leg session B. So we're hitting our second leg session for the week. This is the one that I chucked up on my YouTube last week, so that exact workout, which entails lying hamstring curls for 3 sets, barbell Romanian deadlifts just for 2 sets with some nice heavy weight, making sure you get that 2-to-1 tempo, V squats, which is an awesome movement I like to perform because I can't really do back barbell squats that well because of my lower back injury, but this seems to alleviate most of the problems with some back support for 3 sets on the V squats. Then we like to follow this up with an isolation exercise for our quads, which is seated leg extensions for 3 heavy sets, followed by 1 drop set for as many reps as possible. Then we do a little bit of glute movement. So what we do is we do some 45-degree hip extensions, basically going onto one of those 45-degree angle machines where you do hyper extensions for your lower back, but just doing a bit of a twist on it, where you might bend your knees slightly and point your toes outward while keeping your chest tucked down, so sort of rounding your back, and that really helps you hit your glutes in this movement. And we hit that for 3 sets. And then the final exercise, you didn't think we were going to forget calves, did you? Nah. So we have pin loaded standing calf raises with a drop set as well. So it's 3 working sets with some heavy ass weight and then 1 drop set to finish it off. And now we move on to the 5th and final day of the week for training, which is an upper body day. So hitting a bit of everything here for our upper body. What we start off with is some weighted pull-ups with a neutral grip. And what I like to do is hit 3 sets for about 6 to 8 reps on here, and obviously chuck on as much weight as I can on myself using a weight belt. So hanging a 5, 10, 15 kilos off my waist while performing these pull-ups. After this, we get into some good chest movements, which starts off first with incline barbell bench press. 3 sets. I like to pyramid the sets on here, meaning that will start with 12 reps, then 10 reps, then 8 reps in the last set, but increasing the weight each time I lower the reps and trying to up the starting weight each week to progressively overload. Then we also have 2 more chest movements to go after this, which is a seated pin loaded chest press. This is basically one of those machines where you can find a grip that's in a 90-degree angle, so the handle can go across and down. I like to use the part that goes down, so you have your hand wrapped around in a neutral grip, and you're pretty much driving the weight back and then forward, getting a really good squeeze in your chest. And I hit this for 3 sets once again. After this, the final chest movement is standing cable chest flies from the high to low position, so to really emphasize your mid to lower pecs. And on this, we do 2 sets with the heaviest weight we can for a good number of reps, such as 8 reps. What we have next is side lateral raises, so just grabbing some dumbbells, performing 3 sets of side lateral raises. Personally liking to keep the number of reps pretty high on here, anywhere between 12 to 14 reps. After this, we obviously got to hit our bis and tris as well. So starting off with our first bicep movement, which is standing cable bar bicep curls. This is for 3 sets, basically getting a straight bar, fixing it on the lowest point of a cable stack, and then curling that weight up nice and slow, 2 seconds bringing the weight up, holding the squeeze for about a second and then slowly lowering it down. This is where I start feeling completely taxed and worn out. So I'm pretty sure you guys will too if you follow this workout. And the final movement for our triceps is standing cable, one arm, X body extensions. Now that is a lot of words, but what it basically is you go up to a cable stack, you get the cable point to the highest it can, you pretty much bring it down from your shoulder to the opposite side of your waist and squeeze that tricep as hard as you can, almost getting your elbow at complete lockout and then bringing it back up nice and controlled to your shoulder. Once again, hitting this for 3 sets. And then Sunday, nothing much again, just a rest day, a bit of walks, a bit of meal prep, you know the go. So guys, that was basically just me showing you guys the structure of my training week. Now, when I hit 5 training sessions a week with 2 rest days in between, I just wanted to list the exercises in case you wanted to have an idea of the number of sets I performed throughout a workout on certain movements, and maybe even the flow of the exercises, because that does make a big difference. Exercise selection is a big thing in terms of your training and maximizing your hypertrophy. So let me know if you guys have any questions related to today's video. I did chuck up those boxes which had the training split listed and the certain exercises with the number of sets, so you can always pause, check that out, maybe even write it down. I didn't want to have massive text boxes without going throughout the video, otherwise it would take up the entire screen. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or hit me up on my Instagram, which I'll chuck up here. And that was it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.